Good morning. It's been a little while since I put a video out, so I'm hoping this one goes on just fine. Welcome to yoga. Let's start with our pranayama practice. This is often done through breathing, and today we're going to do Nadi Shodhana, one of my personal favorites. So if you know it, feel free to get started. If not, go ahead and follow along with me through the first few cycles. We're going to take a finger or thumb and plug off one nostril. Exhale and inhale. After the inhales, we're going to switch, plug off the other nostril. Exhale. Inhale. Switch, exhale. Inhale. Switch, exhale. So that's our pattern, is out, in, switch. Slowly lengthening and deepening, relaxing the breath. Out, in, switch. After the next exhale, come back to the natural breath. We're going to add to the breath some arm movements. On your inhale, open your arms, rotate your palms up, your shoulders roll back, so it's like you're showing off your armpits, and then round them the other way. Exhale. The next time you're up and open with this big inhale, we'll pause here. Keep breathing though. And on your next inhale, we're going to take a big stretch to the side. This is an inhale, so we're feeling the side of our lungs to the side. Exhale, reach up. Inhale, fill the rib cage to the side. Exhale up. Let those arms come forward, hinge into your hips. And if your hips are cold, go ahead and swish a little side to side to warm them up. If they're already warm, feel free to just get down deep and hold that stretch, whatever you like. And bring it on up. We're going to switch and put the other ankle in front. If you were already soles of the feet together, then don't worry about it. All right, we're going to do those arms over again, but we're going to switch up the breathing. So before our focus was stretch, this time our focus is going to be strength. So we're going to take our arms up overhead, take a deep breath in, exhale over to the side, and you get to decide how challenging this is. Maybe you still need to put an arm down. Maybe those arms can go really tight together and really pulling this side up and out. But I want the goal to be these muscles in here to feel like they're tightening and supporting this to the side, keeping your butt cheek down. Inhale, come back up. Exhale. Up. And exhale. Take it at your own pace. I do encourage you to try to slow it down as much as possible so you're really feeling those muscles holding you up. And head back into your lap again. Stretch out the hips this way. Again, feel free to sway into it or just be static. And bring it back up. All right, let's make our way up to our hands and knees. And when we get there, we'll do some cat-cow. So for our cat, we're that scared Halloween cat. We've got our spine rounded forward. And then the opposite cow, we're going to lift the tail, lift the heart. We'll take this back and forth. Traditionally, it's an exhale for your cat. Inhale for your cow. Press it back, child's pose. For right now, we're going to do this long-armed child's pose. Walk your fingers away from you. See how long you can stretch out your lats. And then bend your elbows, and I'm actually going to bring my elbows as close to my head as I can so that my arms are squeezing my ears. I'm going to bend my elbows, bring my hands, palms together towards the back of my neck. And let it go. Come back up to hands and knees. We're going to play with some abdominal work. So I'm going to turn this way so you can hopefully see my lower abdomen a little bit. And we're going to play with exhaling and inhaling. So that lifting sensation isn't coming from me tucking my tail, it's coming from pulling in the abdomen so much. And the tail, it is hard to keep it from moving a little bit because those muscles are pulling so hard. I want you to exhale so hard that you feel like you're getting a crunch in your lower abdomen. Now hold the crunch even through the inhale. So you are inhaling, but you're continuing to feel this abdominal pressure pulling in. And we're going to do tricep pushes from here. So basically, it's this little push-up right here. And obviously, we don't have near as much weight as we normally would, but we're focusing on this crunch that we have. Now you can stay right here doing these, or we can add a little bit more to it. We're going to lift one leg. So because we have this abdominal crunch, lifting this leg is not super high because that would mean that my back sways. So I'm going to flex my foot so that I make sure that my kneecap and toes are facing down. I've got my crunch here, and then we'll do our tricep pushes. If you're doing the leg, let's switch sides. Set up. Get your exhale. Get that lift. Flex your foot so you're sure that your toes are pointing straight down at the ground. Now, if your knee that's supporting you is further forward, this is going to be easier. If it's directly under the hip, it's going to be more challenging. We'll do one more. All right, now our triceps probably need a little stretch here again. We're going to stretch them even deeper this time by taking our knees wide, sink back into our child's pose, and again, we'll squeeze our arms towards our ears, bend the elbows, and thumbs go towards the back of the neck. The more your heart drops towards the floor and the more your hands get close to the back, the deeper that stretch will be. If you want to take this even further, you can always put yoga blocks or something underneath of your elbows to let your head get further down and your elbows further up. And bring yourself back up to all fours. All right, we're going to bring our thumbs together right under our nose. And try to keep your pelvis from moving. It's going to stay as stable as possible. It's going to try to wiggle, and you're going to resist that. We're going to lift one arm up and squeezing my shoulder blades behind my back and not letting my pelvis shift. Exhale back down. Other side. Take it at your own pace. Now again, we're inhaling on the lift so that we're encouraging extra stretch here. Really rotating the chest towards the ceiling. And then walk your hands away. We're going to do melting heart. So the rump stays right over the knees, really stretching out the lats, the shoulder girdle. And walk it back. We're going to do the same thing, but this time we're going to exhale on the lift, focusing on squeezing those abdominal muscles. Lift one arm. Inhale back down. And let it go. Let's sit on our heels. If it's possible for you, sit with the tops of your feet on the floor. Stretching out the shins, stretching out the tops of the feet. We're going to tuck our tail under, stretch out the quadriceps. You can use your hands to support you if you like. Really tucking under the tail so these quads are loosening up. And then sit back up on your heels. We're going to bring our hands behind us, interlace the fingers, lengthen out the arms. Now, what often happens is the belly sticks out. To make this happen, I want you to keep a neutral spine. So keeping that pulled in abdomen. Think of the shoulders going open and down, and the ears going straight back. So if this gives you a double chin, you're doing it right. Now tuck your chin to your chest, round your spine. Forehead is going to come to the floor, and we're not going to put any weight on it. We're just touching. And then lift your hands. Now for my double jointed people out there, make sure that your elbows are not going the wrong way. They should only go to straight. You'll notice that I actually keep a very mild bend in my elbows to keep me from hyperextending. And let it go. Let's take our hands out along the mat. Press up to downward facing dog. Press back into the feet, and we're going to stretch them out the opposite way. Bend the knees slightly, stick out the tail, let the belly button pull towards the thighs. And then back down to sitting on your shins and tops of your feet. Stretch out your quadriceps, tuck your tummy, tuck your tail. Now this time, open up your shoulders and come back as far as you can without using your hands for support. Maybe they help you out here, but the shoulders are down and back. Of course, if you do need the hands behind you, they're available, but I want that tummy work there. And I'm having to really work to make sure my knees stay down. Bring it up. Hands behind you. Lift the hands. Roll forward. No weight on the forehead here. It just touches. That might not even be forehead. It might be the top of the head now. And release. Hands come forward, downward facing dog. We'll stretch our right leg up high behind us. And then swing it forward to the outside of the arm. So I'm going to bring it to my elbow and then set the foot down out here. Let the hips sink forward towards the front heel. And my back leg wants to bend, but I'm going to resist and I'm going to try to get it up off the ground as high as it'll go while still bringing my hips down low. Now my front foot, my arch naturally wants to come up a little bit. I'm going to start by resisting it, push that arch down. Take that right foot back up into the air behind you. And set it down, downward facing dog. Come down to your shins, tops of the feet. Bring those shoulders back, tuck your tail, lean back as far as your abdomen can control. I'm squeezing my glutes too to try and keep my knees down. Bring it forward, hands behind. Getting this nice open feeling, tucking in my belly, and then I'll round forward. Unwind to downward facing dog. Left leg high behind you. Bring that leg forward, knee to elbow. And set the foot down on the outside. Remember, for right now, we're going to roll into the arch, pressing down the big toe side edge of your foot, lifting the back leg and sinking the hips forward. So I can think of this as energy going out my heel. That's going to lift my thigh naturally, while everything else is coming forward. If this is not a stretch for you, feel free to get down a little bit lower. But again, that pelvis coming forward is driving the stretch here. Take it back up to your three-legged dog. And set it down. We'll come down to our knees, hands and knees, all fours. And we're going to do that pull in the belly, tricep pushes. Excellent. Back up to your downward facing dog. Right leg up high behind you again. Bring it forward. I'm going to use my heart to push out my spine as if the back of my heart is trying to reach the ceiling and the front wall. Bring my knee forward. And this time we're going to do the opposite with our foot. We're going to roll to the outside edge. So my pinky's on the ground. It's naturally going to want me to rotate. I'm going to let that happen, but I'm still on the ball of my foot back there, okay? So my heel is still pointed up, but I'm going to let the rest of me rotate. And this knee, I get to push away a little bit. pelvis coming forward is driving that stretch. And back up to three-legged dog. We're going to take this leg all the way up and over scorpion dog. Reach your bottom heel down towards the floor. Reach your top foot towards the wall to your left. Set it down. We'll come down to hands and knees. Tricep pushes. Second side, downward facing dog. Left leg high. Round your spine, press your heart towards the wall in front of you. Bring the knee forward to your elbow and set it down on the outside. Back heel stays facing up, but let the left leg drop out to the side. Scorpion dog. And let it go. We'll bring our knees down to the mat. Sit back on the tops of the feet. Roll those shoulders back. For flexibility, press the hips. We're going to kind of tuck them this way. Arm comes up and over. I've got this hand down on the ground to support me so that I can just lean into my range of motion. And with a little bit of wiggling and exploring here, I can find a spot that feels like it really, really needs this. Switch sides. Let it go. Let's make our way up to a squat. So we're going to put our balls of the feet on the mat. Press back. Feel your ankles. Feel the bottoms of your feet. Feel the Achilles. Maybe up into the soleus. So our ankles will allow us humans to sit here with our heels on the ground. And the only thing that's stopping us is the fact that we don't do it. And so we don't have that range of motion. But there are many, many People who can sit here with their heels down. Then bring your hands to the mat. We'll lengthen our hips to the ceiling, forward fold. Go ahead and take your feet as wide as your hips. And we're going to come down as far as we can without letting our heels come up. So I'm really having to push my weight that way because my knees don't want to go forward anymore, so I'm having to distribute the weight. We'll press it back into a forward fold. Take your feet shoulder width apart. And bring it down. So this time, maybe your rib cage can get in between your thighs. And if that happens for you, this is going to be much easier. All right, we're going to shift our weight to our left side. I'm going to use my hands on the mat for support, and I notice my left heel's coming off the ground a little bit in order to get me over there. I'm going to stretch my right leg out in the opposite way, and my toes are pulled up. From here, maybe I can balance on top of my foot. Set it back down. We'll collect this leg so that the heel is shoulder width. And the second side, we'll shift over to the right. Lengthen out the second leg. And maybe a balance. And bring it back down. We're going to leave that leg where it is. Lengthen out this leg. We'll take a forward folded straddle. to your hands underneath your face. We'll take that windmill that we played with earlier. Keep your pelvis as still as possible. It's going to be extra hard in this position. Lift one arm and then the other. Feel the shoulder blades squeezing. Feel your torso rotating. Last one to each side. And let it go. Make your way on down to lying on your back. Let's bring both heels straight up to the ceiling. If this is challenging for you, maybe it's a little lower. If it's not up to vertical, I encourage you to use your arms to help a little bit. Maybe you grab your pants, maybe you grab a strap over the toes is a great place for them, for a strap. And then wiggle and roll the ankles. Press your low back down into the floor. You can see how I'm pressing down into the floor with my low back so hard that it actually tucks my tail up. And we're going to do tiny little lifts like this. Big exhale, press the low back down so much that it lifts the feet up. Bend your knees to 90 degrees. Keep your low back pressed down, maybe not as forcefully as you did when you were lifting your feet, but you still got it down there. And then stretch out one leg. Keep the back pressed down as long as you can. When the back pops up, that means that you've gone just a little bit too far. Slowly pull the leg back. We'll switch sides, and we're just going to keep going left and right. Now, if this leg stays knee over hip, it'll be more challenging. If it comes closer to the chest, it'll be a little bit easier. So decide what's right for you. Remember to keep taking deep belly breaths. So I know we're really focusing on pulling in and down, but we want it to be dynamic with our breath. We want to be able to inhale. One more to each side. Excellent. Drop both knees over to one side. Our goal here is going to be a big spinal twist. So turn your head the opposite direction from your knees. Think about pressing your low spine back down to the mat to lift these knees up and to the other side. Turn your head the opposite direction from your knees. Spine presses down towards the floor to again lift the knees back up. Take your feet, put them on the floor wider than your mat. And drop both knees to one side. Our goal here is going to be the stretch of the back leg. So if you are not feeling a stretch in your back leg, bring the foot up a little bit higher. Knees are relaxing down towards the mat. And we have 4 quadriceps running down the front of the thighs. And so each of those does a slightly different motion, which means all of these little wiggles and tweaks and adjustments we could do in here might hit a different muscle in a different way. So feel free to explore and find what works for you and what you might need to target today. Bring these knees back up and take them to the other side. And bring it back up. Let's bring our knees towards our armpits, and we'll grab for our shins or feet or toes and wiggle around a bit.
Pulling the knees towards the armpits will help lengthen out that low back. And then allow yourself to get comfortable for Savasana. So that's our relaxation pose, lying on our back. If you need a bolster under the knees to make you more comfortable, please feel free to do so. Traditionally, the arms are out to the sides, palms up, allowing the shoulders to open, the shoulder blades to tuck under. Allow the hips to relax with the feet flopped out to the sides. And take some deep breaths. And flow all the way in, down to that low abdomen that we've been working. And yes, I know that your lungs don't go all the way down to your abdomen, but allow your diaphragm to push so deeply into your abdomen that your belly rises comfortably and then can settle back in.
And as you let this air expand and relax you, bring your awareness to your right hand, your full awareness to your right hand. There's no need to move it, simply notice it. What does it feel? What position is it in? Now the right arm, right shoulder, the right side of the torso, right hip, right leg, and the right foot. Bring your awareness now to the entire right side of the body, as if a fine line delineated you right down the center. Feel that line right down the center and notice everything to its right. Feel everything to the right at once. And now, bring your awareness to the left hand. Shift your full awareness to the left hand. The left arm, left shoulder, the left side of the torso, the left hip, left leg, left foot. Bring your awareness to the whole left side of the body together. Every piece of the left side of your body and that fine line drawn down your center. Bring your awareness now to your whole body, from the top of your head out to your fingers and toes. Your whole body, left and right, front and back, from the skin to the bones. And even though we lie here in stillness, we feel that movement of the air, us sharing our breath with the room, and the room sharing its breath with us. Expand your awareness now more broadly into the room and begin to stretch your body, finding movement in it again. Allow yourself to feel as if you're waking up from a deep, restful sleep. Feel all the stretches. And then slowly make your way up to sitting. We'll bring our hands to heart space and our thoughts to a place of gratitude. Together we'll take a deep breath in and out, and I invite you to Om along with me on the exhale. That vibration in the body is very calming and resetting to the nervous system. We'll take a deep breath in. Thank you.